to this episode of What's Cooking with Danna and Robyn on the Makeover Mentor. Robyn, you've created a pretty cool recipe for us for dinner, so tell us about it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's delicious. And we're going to have shrimp pesto over zucchini noodles.
Sounds low calorie.
It's actually very low carbohydrate, high fiber, moderate calories because we'll have some fat involved, but it's really a good recipe. And we're going to try to do almost everything fresh today, but we're going to give you some alternatives if you don't have all the fresh ingredients on hand.
Okay, where do you want to start?
Well, the first thing I want to start with is the shrimp that we're using. Now, I bought other raw shrimp that are already peeled and deveined. And these are red Argentinian shrimp. I got these at Trader Joe's, but any shrimp will work. And if you can't find the raw, just cooked is fine. And I think shrimp is a treat. I don't eat shellfish often because it's just not as healthy as some of the other options to eat the seafood that often. But you could use chicken instead of shrimp if you wanted to.
Good. That's a great alternative. Okay, so where do we start now?
Okay, I'm going to set the shrimp aside because they're thawing. And I'm going to start with making the pesto. I'm going to get our zucchini out of the way for now. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
And we're going to start with 2 cups of fresh basil. And listen, you can use a food processor. We're using our NutriBullet. You can use a Magic Bullet. You can use a blender if you want to make this. So we've got 2 cups of basil in there. And then we're going to put...
Oh,
I know.
If only you could smell through video, because I keep a basil plant all the time in my house. I buy them fresh almost every week at Trader Joe's, and I use them all the time with that.
Absolutely. 1/3 of a cup of nuts. Now, a lot of people use pine nuts in their pesto. You could use walnuts. I'm actually using pecans. So you could use pumpkin seed, whatever you want.
Or a combination.
Or a combination, actually. And these are already toasted. You can use them raw or toasted. I like the pecans toasted. It just has a little bit more flavor that I enjoy, but raw is fine as well. So I'm going to dump that in there. And then I have a 1/2 cup of pecorino cheese. Pecorino Romano cheese, Parmesan cheese, whatever you want to use is fine.
Okay.
Dump that in there.
This is easier than I thought.
It's really easy.
And why do you like to do homemade versus just buy it in the jars you can get at the store?
Well, for one thing, the taste is so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, and the color, the vibrancy is amazing, but it really comes down to taste. Probably for convenience-wise, in fact, would you hand me that jar?
Mm-hmm.
Here is a jar of pesto. So if you don't have the time to make it fresh or you don't have all the ingredients, this is a pesto. I got this at Sprouts. But the reason that I don't like a lot of jarred or even the refrigerator section pesto is because a lot of them is not even made with olive oil or very little amount of olive oil. They use soybean oil or canola oil. This one happens to be all olive oil, but I had to search for this and read the label.
So a little harder to find pure olive oil as the exclusive oil. Okay.
So speaking of olive oil, here's a 1/2 cup.
I love olive oil. It reminds me of my time.
And if you're using a food processor, you might be pulsing already before you add in the olive oil, but we're just doing it all at once in our little NutriBullet. We didn't get the salt and pepper yet, but go ahead and start with that. We're going to season it to taste.
And garlic?
The garlic?
I thought because I'm hiding the garlic from you.
Okay, she's hiding the garlic.
I was like, she's the chef, but I had a feeling.
Thank you.
Because I eat pesto a lot.
Yes, of course. So we're putting in about 2 to 3 teaspoons. It's about 3 cloves of garlic. We didn't chop it today. We took the easy route. I love this stuff in the refrigerator. It's in the vegetable section of your supermarket. It's a refrigerator. You just squeeze it out, and it tastes like you just chopped it.
It does.
It's a lot easier.
That does save you some time. So you're going with the fresh-made pesto. So I'm going to make a little noise here, but I mean, how fast is this? Okay, how long do you think we're going to do?
Just pulse it maybe 10, 15 seconds. Stop, pulse again.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So now, this is not in my normal recipe, but we talked about maybe adding a little bit of the essential oil lemon to it.
Oh yeah, that would be yum. Okay.
Just a couple drops because it's really, we think that'll be so good with the shrimp, the light freshness. And now what we're going to do is we are going to make our zucchini noodles.
Awesome. Well, here's your zucchini, Chef Robyn. And
okay, so You could use two different methods here. You can either use just a paring knife, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. I need my knife, my big knife.
Excuse me. You wouldn't see this on TV.
No.
But on a podcast, we don't stand on ceremony.
And
here.
our zucchini's already washed. So I'm just cutting off the edges. And literally, I use the whole thing, and I'm just going to pare and try to make as wide of slices, ribbons, as I can. And that could be your noodle. If you want to make it a little thinner, you could. Okay, so this is the more labor-intensive method.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a spiralizer, and this is, we love this. This is on Danna's favorites if you want to find it. This one was on sale. We got it for like $40 off. It was
Yes.
only $17. Okay, so it's a spiralizer. It makes all different shaped noodles of zucchini, squash, potatoes. I used it for apples the other day. I didn't make noodles out of apples, but I made something else.
Yeah.
It's got this suction on the bottom, so it'll stay in place.
Okay.
And I've got the blade on for to make it like a fettuccine noodle. So I'm going to cut my zucchini in half, and then I'm going to stick it on this blade here.
So it's a little roundy thing.
And I just come in with this other end,
I love it.
and you hold it, put the
Here's
bowl
your
there,
bowl. Catch the little noodles.
and you're going to see it coming out here in a minute. It's so easy. And it makes these long, you hold the base of it,
Sure.
because I must not have sectioned enough. Thank you. It makes these long strands.
Cool.
Isn't that cool?
I
I'm
love
going to
it.
go to the end here, and it'll just stop.
This is my spiralizer, and I haven't had a chance to break it out and use it, so I thought,
Look at these these are noodles.
I
zucchini
love it.
noodles.
it looks like
Aren't
spaghetti.
these great?
Okay.
So you and I are gonna make some more of these, and we're gonna get back to you in just a few minutes.
Yummy.
Yeah.
So we've done all the prep work, and now we're ready for the cooking, and I thought we'd show you how much pesto we came up with here in this little, probably 10-ounce little ramekin type of container. And then Robyn told you we're going to add just a teeny bit of essential lemon oil for the flavor. Now, here's a hint. When you're using essential oils, pour them first into a spoon, because sometimes it's hard to control one drop at a time. We used about 4 to 5 drops in this particular recipe of pesto, and it gives it a little extra zest.
Yeah. So I want to show you the noodles and how they came out again. Isn't this just beautiful how the spiralizer makes these long, amazing
And how
noodles?
many zucchinis was this, 2 or 3?
This was 3 zucchinis.
3.
And when we started a pot of
Not too
boiling
big.
water before we even started everything, so it's ready to go. But what we're going to do with this now is we're going to blanch these noodles for about 2 minutes in the boiling water. Then we'll strain them in a colander, and then we're going to just dry them or lay them on paper towel. You could use a clean
Dish towel?
like cheesecloth or dish towel, and because we just want to absorb the extra water. And now we're going to be ready to cook our shrimp, so we'll see you at the stove. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm melting a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon, and about a teaspoon of coconut oil. That'll keep it from burning, because you know when you use butter to saute, a lot of times it'll burn. And then I'm going to add, this is just 1 shallot chopped up. So I'm going to add that to it, and I'm going to get these translucent. So they're just going to cook till they're translucent. Okay, so you can see here, this is our zucchini, and we've put it in the colander. We left it on for about 2 minutes. This is as long as you want them blanched. I mean, anywhere between 1 minute to 2 minutes, you have to find out how you like the texture. And then we drained them, and we are soaking up the excess water with paper towel. Okay, so we've been sauteing our shallots in the butter with the coconut oil. I actually added a little bit of garlic also. And now I'm just going to take those shrimp. Now remember, these were the raw, but you could use already cooked. They look cooked because they are pink Argentinian or red shrimp. And then we're going to just saute these in here.
We're really close to dinner time now. Isn't this beautiful? Look at all the colors. And last step.
Well, the last step is to add the pesto. I want to remind you on the zucchini noodles, 1 to 2 minutes at the most for your blanching, because if you cook them too long, they're going to get soggy. So just remember that. You're going to have to probably just test out and see, just like with regular pasta, you know, you test it. Is it ready? Is it ready? So because depending on if your water is really hot when you put it in or moderately hot. But now we're just going to add some of this pesto, and look at the gorgeous color. And this is all fresh. By the way, let's say you didn't want to use basil. You could use arugula, you could use spinach, kale, if you wanted to make it extra, like a superfood dinner. So we're going to add a couple tablespoons of the pesto here, and we're going to just start tossing it up.
It smells amazing. You smell the garlic and the pesto. The basil is so aromatic. Yeah, the shrimp look delicious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to test this out. I've never had this, Robyn. I put zucchini into sauces sometimes in little chunks, but I've never made noodles. That was the maiden voyage of my spiralizer. So let's have a bite of this. I'm gonna have. Did you do it just like spaghetti?
Swirl it up like spaghetti.
Okay, I'm always the girl that takes the great big bite.
Really good. Delicious.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And this is like healthy and low carbohydrate and high fiber. And you're just getting all those extra nutrients and all the green that you're getting, all those green vegetables between the zucchini and the basil. And then we added the fresh tomatoes.
That's delicious. Eat healthy till the next time we meet.
See you soon.